Now, if you've watched any of the more recent episodes of Can We Talk About This, you'd know that Flavor of the Month goes a long way. I tend to talk about new characters, or at least heavily reworked characters, because more often than not, being new is synonymous with being overtuned. And it also gets me more views. Older characters fall out of relevance in due time because characters keep getting more and more complicated and fleshed out. Seeing the difference in character depth from early years to today is literally like watching the design team in Riot HQ grow up. In the first grade, they said, maybe let's do a auto-attack stun move. But then in high school, they went, maybe a character that's ability to duel and lock up a target is based on the map. The terrain around her will define how she plays. 2 mobility spells, invisibility, a stun, and an ultimate move that is most effective in choke points or when synergized with others. But then in college, they got shit-faced and went, yeah, let's make a dude who punch hard, and when you hit him, he punch more hard. But wouldn't that get someone mad? I don't give a fuck! And though almost every single new character released over the last few years has been a nightmare to balance and play against, even you, Nico.
Everyone fears Nico now! Ha ha ha!
Jesus. There is a character who has been out for a whopping 5 years that I still strongly believe is one of the best champions in League of Legends. The 4th most banned jungler in the game and the 11th most banned champion, even though he hasn't received a substantial change or buff for the last 3 years. But before we talk about him, let's get a quick message from this week's sponsor, NordVPN. Cut to the ad. NordVPN is the best VPN on the market, objectively. Keep yourself safe with no data logging, 24/7 customer support, double data encryption, and a lot more. Now, some of you may be saying, but Scooch, I don't care about that stuff. What can a VPN do for the common person, like me? And I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you a story. For those of you who have been following the channel for at least a few months, you'd know that I spent some time living in London with my girlfriend. After a long day of work, we'd ramp up the old Netflix, take a seat, and watch a Ghibli movie. Because Ghibli movies slap. It was kind of a tradition, and we actually got through a lot of them. But fun fact, did you know that Ghibli films are available on Netflix almost everywhere on Earth except for NA? Because I didn't. Thankfully, through the power of NordVPN, you could set your location elsewhere and unlock these bad boys. I'm not saying you're a weeb, but come on, it's Ghibli. Come on. So thank you again for being this week's sponsor, NordVPN. You guys are awesome. Go check them out. Use my link in the description. All right, that's it. Let's get back to the video. Ekko is the best at almost everything he attempts to do. He is a character that even I've been known to abuse in solo queue on stream, not necessarily because I enjoy his playstyle, but because I would rather be him than be against him. Ekko has better engage than most tanks. Ekko has a better split push than most split pushers. He has more mobility than assassins, he has more survivability than most supports, he has a better clear than most junglers, and the list goes on. Because Ekko isn't made to lose. I get that his time gimmick means that he's supposed to have a second chance, but the fact that in order to even have a chance to kill him late game requires you to avoid a stun, 5 mobility spells, a heal, a burst, a move speed buff, and a slow means that Ekko has like 8 fucking chances. I'll explain. Ekko's passive Z-Drive Resonance applies a stack of Resonance upon auto-attack or ability damage for 4 seconds. At 3 stacks, Resonance is consumed to deal up to 140 plus 80% AP magic damage, increased by 50% against monsters. It also grants Ekko a move speed buff of up to 80% for 3 seconds. Normally I try to avoid numbers when I talk about this show, but today we're going to talk about numbers because it's kind of important. This passive makes Ekko's ability to trade insanely easy because all he has to do is hit you 3 times before zooming away. It also gives him a great jungle clear, even though they kinda nerfed it. Ekko's Q Timewinder is a skill shot that deals up to an initial 120 plus 30% AP magic damage to enemies in its path. Once Timewinder hits a champion or reaches 700 units, it expands, creating a slow zone while traveling a little further. And then it returns back to Ekko at high speed, dealing an additional 140 plus 60% AP magic damage. If the traveling and returning pass both hit the target, that is 260 plus 90% AP magic damage while also being an AoE slow. Did I mention that it could also add up to 2 stacks of his passive? Meaning if he hits you one more time via auto attack, he'll be dealing 400 plus 170% AP magic damage with just 1 ability while also slowing you for 60% and speeding himself up for 80. Now, we're gonna have to jump to his E really quickly to explain something, and then we'll come back to his W. Ekko, fast forward, please.
I'll help you this time.
Ekko Z is a dash in a target direction. After the short dash, Ekko's next basic attack has 300 bonus range and deals magic damage, causing him to blink within 125 units of his target. Though this ability only deals up to 150 plus 40% AP magic damage, the fact that pairing it with the slow on Ekko's Q means that you'll be unable to get away from an impending burst is insane. Imagine if you were getting chased by a serial killer who was not only much bigger than you, but also an Olympian track runner. It sounds awful, right? Well, now cover the floor in molasses and give that man some rocket boots. And once he punches you, that is a whopping 550 plus 210% AP burst. If we factor in a Lich Bane, which he will normally get in his games, that is basically a guaranteed burst that deals 737 plus 260% AP, with no runes, no Dark Harvest, no Electrocute, nothing. Just base damage. And we haven't even gotten to the strongest part of his kit yet. Okay, Ekko, you can rewind.
A second chance? I thought I was on my fifth.
Ekko's W parallel convergence is better than most ultimates in the game. Passively, it gives Ekko an execute on enemies below 30% health because why the fuck not? Actively, Ekko throws a device to a target location. After 3 seconds, the device expands to slow enemies inside the area, only revealing itself to enemies for 1 second. If Ekko goes into the area within the next 1.5 seconds, it detonates the device, giving Ekko a gigantic shield and stunning all the enemies inside it for 2.25 seconds. I know it sounds confusing, but basically, Ekko chooses an area of the map that you must avoid or you will get bursted and die while he gets a gigantic shield. Sure, there's a margin for error because it takes 3 seconds, but the fact that this ability is so fucking huge with relatively low CD late game means you're basically playing darts with a fucking 9K38 Igla. You can miss, but can you really? Finally, we have Ekko's ult, which though it's not the strongest ability in the game, affords him the chance to play like an absolute fucking madman. Ekko blinks back to where he was 4 seconds ago, healing himself for a decent amount of damage and also bursting the area around him for 450 plus 60% AP. This moves up his playmaking potential by a ridiculous amount because you'll always have an ace up your sleeve. If you run in gun-ho and get caught, you can ult out and run in the direction you came. If you come from behind enemy lines, end up in a pretty long trade, or land a huge stun, you can use this as an AoE burst to secure a few kills. Ekko is a playmaking champion with multiple attempts to get it right. He thrives on making highlight reel plays, but is almost never at risk unless he gets greedy. And even if he gets greedy, he's not at risk either. In short, if at first you don't succeed, just try again. It's bound to work eventually. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this week's episode of Can We Talk About This? If there's something else you want to talk about, leave it in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get to it. Also, go follow my Instagram. I'm about to give away some skins there and probably some more goodies real soon, so go follow that at ScoochIG. I know it looks like Scoochig, alright, but Scooch was taken. It's not my fault. Don't call me Scoochig. Besides that, I love you. You look good in that shirt.